As I'm rolling over in my nice warm bed, I peek out from under the covers. I don't want to get up, but as I look at the end of the bed, I see two sharp brown eyes staring at me from the foot of the bed. Drago is looking at me. I call his name. In a split second, he's up on the bed giving kisses of excitement. I talk to him as if he's my best friend. Then I stop and think, not only is he my best friend, he's much more than that. He's my partner, the one entrusted in making sure that I come home alive and well after working the night shift together. I get out of bed and shower and shave prior to our shift with him standing and pacing in the hallway, like a fighter getting ready to go in the ring. After throwing on my BDU uniform, we go downstairs together. He's walking along as if my shadow. Drago knows it's time to work. His work is also his playtime for catching bad guys and finding narcotics. Once we reach the kitchen, I pick up his chain collar with badge and he quickly sits. As I open the collar, he jumps up, pushes his head through, and before I know it, he's heading toward the door. I open the door and he beats me to the patrol car in the driveway. He's excited he's so excited that he attempts to open the door with his nose, but it's locked. I unlock the vehicle and open his door, and without hesitation, he jumps in. On the way to the station, Drago lets everyone know walking down the street that he's watching them and he barks. He's a proud member of the K-9 unit. After roll call, we hit the streets of Lorain County. Most nights we're assigned to the flow car and would back up officers on calls, alarm drops, building searches, narcotics checks on vehicles. His nose was awesome. You could run, but you couldn't hide. During our shift, we would head to the Dunkin' Donuts. Most people think cops and donuts go together, but they really do have good coffee when they're open. Drago's favorite stop was the downtown Elyria McDonald's. I would get a coffee and Drago his McDonald's cookies. These were his favorite. Once in a while, Drago would get a reward for doing an outstanding job, a McDouble with no pickle. Drago also had other talents shortly after the 9/11 attacks on America. The patrols increased on Lake Erie and we got to participate with the United States Coast Guard and U.S. Customs. He liked that. Once he got the hang of it, he located some narcotics on a few boats we had boarded. On one occasion, a distress call came in from the Vermilion area and we responded. Drago wearing his life vest leaning against the back of the boat as we headed toward Vermilion at warp speed. Everyone was in the cabin except Drago, sitting at the back by the motors, holding his ears back. Yeah, he was pissed. Everyone knew it. That's why we were inside the cabin. I do recall being called at home about 2 a.m. to assist in a large disturbance downtown Elyria on Depot Street involving a shooting. My car was down for service and Drago and I responded in my truck. Once downtown, it was amazing to see a line of about 40 to 50 police officers from several area departments attempting to keep angry crowd of about 100 people back and growing and rioting and wanting to disturb our crime scene. When asked how we were going to handle this by the officer in charge, I told him, "You follow our lead when we're ready." He told us to go ahead, and Drago was given the command, and he fired up clearing the street and the alley on Depot, around the corner up to Broad Street, with the other officers following us. He acted like a weed whacker, clearing the sidewalk and street. He made me proud. Drago's presence stopped a lot of situations from turning into very serious incidents. He was spoiled at home, pampered by his mom. She would share biscottis, muffin bottoms while she ate the top. He liked cake icing and would eat off a fork on occasion. He liked strawberries and whipped cream. On his nights off, he didn't like beer, but sometimes he'd get the ice cubes out of her drink and sneak licks from her Malibu and pineapple. He was a sissy dog at home. Drago served the citizens of Lorain County well, including working with our other K-9 officers and school staffs and making sure our schools were safe from drugs. We did many talks to scouting groups, civic clubs, and other organizations while requested. Drago even had his own MySpace and Facebook page. Drago retired from law enforcement on October 31st, 2009. He hated retirement, watching his partner go to work without him. He'd be the first one to greet me when I came home in the morning, smell my clothing, and see where I was at. We continued to go out a few times after his retirement to do some training on our own, and also with the training group that I used to participate with. We had done several demos while his time off, and our last demo was at Elyria High School on March 26, 2010. A few days later, Drago wasn't eating all his food and appeared to be not feeling well. On Monday, April 5th, we went to Lorain County Emergency Hospital meeting with Dr. Talbot and staff, and it was learned that Drago had an aggressive form of cancer. We took him home for his final days. Drago would not eat his food, but did eat several McDonald's cheeseburgers and an ice cream cone. He was a dog that thought he was human. He was a good listener, and like these dogs, sometimes would have his say. On Drago's final day, April 7th, while sleeping, I was awakened by a yelp. I looked down to the foot of the bed, and again those big brown eyes were looking at me, this time saying, "Dad, help me, I'm scared." His breathing had become labored, and I helped him downstairs as we went outside in the yard. After a while, I opened the garage, and he walked over to an old training aid box and looked back at me. Even as sick as he was, I asked him, I said, "Drago, you want to find the dope?" His whole demeanor changed, and he was excited. I took a training aid out, let him do a brief search, let him locate the find, and getting his toy reward. Drago also got the bite sleeve, bit it, brought it back for his praise and love. That's all he ever wanted, to please Dad, play, and be loved. Drago walked to the fence in the yard and looked back at us and his family to say it as if his time had come. The ride to the vet was painful for all of us, and he was a fighter to the end. On this day, I lost my partner, my hero, my friend, and my dog. Drago has moved on from his temporary home and is guarding the gates of heaven, waiting until we meet again for another journey. I wrap these treasured memories in a blanket of love and keep them until we meet above. Jimmy Kerstetter, take care of my dog, Drago. May God bless you both. Thank you, Drago, for your unconditional love. Partners forever.